Welcome to the West Ham fans Premier League Roundup. Um, we've got a few topics to get into today. Let's just get straight into it. Let's start with the fixtures that happened. Oh my god. Okay, so Friday night was very dead. Man City comfortably beating Burnley. Probably one of the deadest fixtures to open up um, a Premier League season. I don't like it when it's opened up with a team from like the Big Six versus like a promoted team or versus like a team that they're obviously gonna beat. Like if it was Liverpool at Anfield versus Luton, that would have been dead as well. Like stuff like that, I don't like. But yeah, Haaland scored in 3 minutes. This guy is just gonna he's just gonna score a lot of goals again, isn't he? Like it's just if you play FPL, you're not gonna captain anyone else. Um, but yeah, Man City are doing their job again. Kevin De Bruyne got injured, so they're trying to pursue Lucas Paquetá even more. Uh, Arsenal beat Nottingham Forest very um, uncomfortably. Arteta was experimenting with his lineup. The kickoff got delayed by half an hour because of the e-ticketing issue, and to be honest, it wasn't Arsenal at their best. It was very slow passing sideways, but at the end of the day, they got the job done, and that's the most important thing when you're, I guess, trying to pursue a title race if that's their goal. Because I'm assuming the way it should be their goal after failing last year to win the title. I'm pretty sure they want to go again. Um, Martinelli with a great like roulette pass that was very good, and then Ketia scored. Who else scored? Oh yeah, Saka. The Saka goal was actually really good. The Saka goal was amazing. Um, People like Kai Havertz just don't fit Arsenal. Like he doesn't have the technical ability that all the other Arsenal players have. When you see the difference between when Rice gets the ball, when Erdogan gets the ball, when Partey gets the ball, and then you see Kai Havertz get the ball, is a big difference between all four of those players. And um, I just don't think he fits. Let's give him time to in the season, but I think we all knew after watching Kai Havertz for so long for Chelsea that it was never going to fit Arsenal, and especially when you're trying to do this, like put Partey inverted with Rice so Havertz can push up. You're better off just having a a normal Rice Partey Erdegaard midfield, and because nobody's going to break through that with the physicality of Thomas Partey and Declan Rice, and you've got the creativity of Erdegaard. Jurriën Timber's out injured for a long time. It's rumored to be for months, but I'm not too sure. We'll see when an official source comes out with that, but we will see. Sheffield United got beat by Crystal Palace. Palace are playing Jeffrey Schlupp, Edouard, and Ayew as a front three. Um, I wonder if that's going to change, but it just yeah, and Sheffield United's team just looks like they've got 10 injuries already, and Roy Hodgson wanted to punch up Max Lowe, so that was interesting. Obviously Bournemouth West Ham I've already talked about on this channel because this is a West Ham channel, so check out my match reaction for that. Brighton battered Luton. I watched that on the Game of the Day thing. Um, yeah, Luton are not ready at all. They haven't put themselves in a position to be ready. They haven't signed enough players. Um, I know they're about to sign Tim Krul. I'm not sure that's going to do much. But it was very naive how they played in the game. Your defense is gonna have to be tight, and you're gonna have to realize that this is the Premier League. You can't really be coming with Championship defenders, but it won't last. So we'll see about Luton, but they haven't put themselves in a great position to survive relegation. I know it's only the first game, but I'm basing that off the transfer window rather than the game itself. Uh, Great performance from João Pedro, who obviously got stick throughout the game because he used to play for Watford, and Luton and Watford don't like each other. Um, yeah, João Pedro is perfect for Brighton's system, perfect for their style of play. So it's no surprise that he is performing like that. He was good at Watford, but there was no one really to bounce off apart from Ismail Assar. So yeah, I just he should have left. I'm glad he's left Watford because I know Watford are holding some of their talents back, and like Ismail Assar finally left. I don't know how that guy was in the Championship for so long. Next one was Everton and Fulham. Everton got robbed. The goal that they scored a goal in the first half, but it got disallowed. Leno literally came out. I think it was I can't remember who. I think it might have been Tarkowski. Tarkowski's standing there. He's standing his ground. Well, it might have been. No, it wasn't Calvert-Lewin. He didn't play. I think it was Tarkowski. Leno's come out. Tarkowski's just standing there. Leno's literally just fell over like a normal goalkeeper, and then they go on to tap it in and score. The problem is the ref blows the whistle before it's scored, meaning it's not going to go to VAR, which is stupid. There's no point of VAR, and we are going to get to that in a minute. But Everton should have also finished their chances. When you look at the highlights, especially Neil Maupay, who his Premier League career must be over very soon. Newcastle, Aston Villa wasn't a tough game for Newcastle. They beat them 5-1. 5-1. Obviously, Aston Villa played this high line and they gave a lot of people trouble with the offside trap. These guys obviously facing the summer series, and it was a good game. It was a 3-3 game. It was on TV and it was everything there. But Newcastle was just clinical, and it was a very entertaining game because it started off in the first 15 minutes. It was 1-0, 1-1, 2-1. Tonali's already made his mark. Tonali had a man of the match performance. Isak was sensational, and the recruitment that Newcastle are coming out with is not like it's always superstars, but it's very, very like just fantastic. Like that midfield is really good because you got Joelinton, Guimaraes, and Tonali, and sometimes Willock will come in, sometimes Longstaff will come in. Like it's going to be interesting to see how Newcastle fare out. I still think they need a left back. Dan Burn actually played all right, but I still think they need a left back because you can't be playing Dan Burn in the Champions League, in my opinion. But we will see about that, won't we? But Newcastle did their job. They're very clinical, and Eddie Howe doesn't get enough credit in general. But yeah, he put Emery to the sword, and Tyrone Mings suffered with a massive injury, so speedy recovery for him. But yeah, it wasn't. This was probably a freak result. I think Aston Villa. This won't affect Aston Villa's season. They just need to get that Zaniolo deal over the line, and then I'm pretty sure that was given a here we go. So we'll see about that. Brentford-Tottenham. Brentford-Tottenham was 2-2. A very entertaining game. Another game that had a delayed kickoff because there was no water in the stadium. But yeah, I don't think Brentford should have had a penalty. I'll be honest. I just don't. If that's a penalty when when Huminson grazed the guy's ankle and he just fell over, and people saying, and I hate when pundits say, "Well, there's contact. It's a contact sport." I don't think that was a penalty. But Tottenham played really well, put really good football. They just don't have a good enough front three for this system because Kulusevski and Son are being made use as like old school wingers when they can't do that job. So I'm pretty sure the manager's going to probably bench them. I think Manor Solomon or even Perisic will probably come in for them. But in general, they probably need another winger and definitely another striker. I'm sure they'll be looking for another striker. There hasn't been any movement from Tottenham since the Kane deal, but it has only been a couple of days. Obviously, Sky Sports would rather talk about the fact that there was no Harry Kane and no Ivan Toney, rather than the actual game itself. But that's Sky Sports for you. It was a decent game overall. Romero had to come off. Davinson Sanchez actually came in to fill him very well, even though he looks erratic all the time. On the same day, we got Chelsea-Liverpool. That was a 1-1 game. Again, quite an entertaining game up until like the second half, because the second half it slowed down a lot. Salah throwing a strop, coming off. The guys that came on looked quite lively, but then again, when you need a goal, you don't take off Mohamed Salah. But yeah, Chelsea did go with a back three, but they put Ben Chilwell on the wing and Levi Colwill at left back, and it didn't work. In my opinion, it didn't work. I was expecting Mudryk to try and get behind that high line, but I don't know, man. I think Chelsea can take more positives from that game than Liverpool can. I think Liverpool will just have a big hole in midfield, which is what everyone's saying. It's obvious. But Chelsea, we'll get onto Chelsea in a minute. They've got two midfielders now that are gonna boost them, and potentially they'll probably get top four. Pochettino's a great coach, and as a West Ham fan, I'm afraid of next Sunday. But we'll get to that later. Man United faced Wolves yesterday, which is why the West Ham Fan Premier League Roundup is usually on a Monday, but came out on Tuesday. I was also doing a James Ward-Prowse video yesterday, so I couldn't be asked to do two videos in one day all the time, because that's what I did for about 30 days, doing a West Ham Fans Premier League review before the season started. But anyway, Man United was shocking. They were shocking. That Mason Mount, Bruno Fernandes and Casemiro midfield was not a good midfield. If you get Amrabat and slot him beside Casemiro and Bruno Fernandes maybe in front of him, it's more solid, it's more balanced, and it allows Bruno Fernandes to just do what he wants. Mason Mount looked lost, didn't know what he was doing really. I'm not a big fan of Bruno Fernandes. I think he's hella overrated. I think his final ball is really good, and I think he can strike the ball very well. And he was part of the reason why Man United even fucking scored. Him and Wan-Bissaka did very well for the goal, and Varane obviously headed it in. But that, again, I don't know why Arsenal and Man United are trying to cook their midfields. Like, all this, like, former Chelsea player stuff, like Havertz and Mount are not going to be the people to solve your midfields. Neither players were the right profile for each team. Mason Mount, I don't know why he signed for Man United, and Kai Havertz, I don't know why he signed for Arsenal. And it's same goes for Man United here, where you're just leaving Casemiro to do everything. Mount and Fernandes just go up. There's a big hole in the middle, and they just, once they counter, they can just 3v1 Casemiro in the centre. And he's just left there to do everything. And, like, are you going to do that to your defensive midfielder? Like, not every defensive midfielder can do that. They played Rashford up front. Garnacho was shocking. Antony was non-existent. Wan-Bissaka was good defensively. Like, it's here and there going forward. Luke Shaw didn't do anything. Sergio Martinez didn't have his best of games. Varane didn't really do anything wrong from what I remember. And Onana nearly conceded a penalty, and it should have been a penalty. He just wiped out Kolasinac, or whatever his fucking name is, and Craig Dawson. But obviously, club badge, Old Trafford, 90th minute, we all know it's not going to get given. But yeah, that is like the Premier League games. We're going to talk about a couple transfers. Harry Kane, it's finally gone. I watched the Bayern Munich game in the background while I was watching the game of the day, Brighton versus Luton, and he was registered in time to play the game. He was on a bench. The guy who was playing up front, is it Tell? Yeah, he wasn't finishing anything. They lost 3-0, which is funny because Kane just came to Bayern Munich and they lost 3-0 on their first trophy. So they're going to have to wait for Kane's first trophy, which will probably be the Bundesliga. I actually can't believe he's gone. Not that he shouldn't have gone to Bayern Munich, because Bayern Munich's a magnificent club. I just thought he would just leave on a free or sign a new deal, because I thought, I don't know, he must be desperate for trophies now, because I didn't think the hunger was there in terms of, obviously he wants to win things, but it's just, I thought he would try and do the whole homegrown thing and try and do the whole sentiment thing, and try and win a trophy with Tottenham. He clearly doesn't believe in that anymore. And to be fair to him, he's given enough managers chances to go and prove themselves. So there's probably nothing against Ange Postecoglou, but he had to leave eventually. But the main transfer things I have to talk about. What the hell just happened with Caicedo and Lavia? Liverpool have absolutely been ripped. They've been ripped apart by Chelsea. On Friday, at like 1 in the morning, some shit, Liverpool put a 110 million bid for Caicedo. And he was still in London with his agent, which is an early red flag, you could say. Because he's not in Liverpool, is he? No one got him a taxi to Liverpool. It's then brought out later that in the morning, like 10 a.m., 11 a.m., I don't remember, that Caicedo would rather go Chelsea. So Chelsea then put a £115 million bid and it got accepted. Then here we go. But before all of the Caicedo thing, Chelsea poked the bear with bidding for Lavia, a target that Liverpool have been trying to penny pinch for weeks. So then Liverpool were like, fuck it, we'll go for Caicedo. But now, Lavia is also on the verge of going Chelsea and Caicedo was announced yesterday. Liverpool fans, what the fuck? Like, if you're serious, go and hijack the Amrabat deal. Go and get Sangare or something. Go and get Palhinha, Decore, you know, someone like that. But yeah, I don't know what happened. I don't know what happened with that. I was just very confused on how you can deal with transfers like that. Like, you just let two players go. You let two players go. And yeah, you're just not serious. They both wanted Chelsea. And Chelsea don't even have any European football. So this myth of European football gets you better players is not necessarily true. It's never really been necessarily true, to be fair, either. But what do I know anyway? Make sure to leave a like on the video, guys, and subscribe if you're new. Social medias are in the description if you want to follow me. The email for the inquiries. I'll see you guys later.